Hello, Gumptown, and today we're here with Mr. Dan Harris, and he's running for the mayor of the city of Montgomery. How you doing, Mr. Harris?
Great. Good to see you today.
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm currently serving as Vice Chairman, Montgomery County Commission. I'm a native Montgomeryan, born and raised on the west side of Montgomery. Graduated from George Washington Carver High School.
Okay.
After high school, I volunteered for the Air Force. And after 4 years in the Air Force and 1 year in Detroit working on the assembly line, I returned home and attended Alabama State University.
Okay.
After finishing Alabama State, I entered law school at Creighton University School of Law in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
My senior year, I went to work for a company that you'll probably be familiar with, Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company. I worked there for over 20 years. I retired in 2003 as Vice President and Assistant General Counsel. And returned home and just all set to enjoy retirement until someone approached me and asked me if I would be interested in running for the commission. And I, after some thought and prayer, I decided to do that. I was elected. But shortly after I was elected, people started to approach me about running for mayor. It seems that there's a lot of dissatisfaction with large segments of the population here in Montgomery. A lot of people are feeling disenfranchised. They're feeling as if nobody's listening to them. And I have a record on the commission as one who will listen and one who is responsive to the constituency. And so, you know, after some prayer and again, a lot of encouragement by people all over the city, and my family, of course, backing me, I decided to run.
That's great. That sounds good. Now, tell us about your plans for economic development for the city.
Economic development is really, really key to the success of any city, but key to the success of economic development is education. They kind of go hand in hand. The more highly educated the population, the workforce is, the better your chances are of recruiting top-notch companies. And I would like to see, so far I think, and I'm a part of the team that's responsible for recruiting companies to come into Montgomery. And I think we've had some success in recruiting heavy manufacturing and light manufacturing companies like Hyundai and a lot of their suppliers. I would like to see the emphasis changed with more emphasis on recruiting high-tech type companies, medical technical type companies, and biomedical type companies. I'd like to see us recruit corporate headquarters to create the type of jobs that are going to keep our youngest and our brightest here in Montgomery instead of having to leave and go elsewhere to find opportunities. 30, 40 years ago, when I finished college and went out, there was no way I could have had the career that I've had I stayed in Montgomery. And it's a shame to say, and it's sad to say, but the same is true today. And I'd like to see that change. I'd like to keep our youngest and brightest here in Montgomery. Secondly, and I know you're probably familiar with it, we as a city and county and the state offer incentives to attract companies to come to Montgomery and create jobs. And I'm all for incentives. You have to offer them in order to be competitive because everybody is going after these businesses. But if we're going to give incentives, we should require that these companies coming in at least pay a living wage. And $9 and $10 an hour is not a living wage. It is very difficult for someone trying to raise a family of four, to live off of $9, $10 an hour. So if we're going to use public money to recruit companies to come into Montgomery, let us use that money to recruit companies that are going to come in and pay a living wage.
That's good. That's good. Now, why do you feel that as though the city should keep the current county school system versus having a city school system?
Yes, and I understand that at least one of the candidates in the mayoral race has stated that he would dismantle the current county school system in favor of a city school system. I'm opposed to that approach. Granted, and I'd be among the first to say that our current system has its challenges, but I do believe that since the state's interposition and work and coming to work with the local board, they've identified the problems. They've come up with a plan to address these problems. I believe that the plans are working. I've witnessed firsthand over the last year and a half or so the graduation rate go from a mere measly 65% to 75% and rising. It's probably somewhere around 80% now, and I think it's going to go even higher. I am excited about the idea of this new Montgomery Preparatory Academy for Technology or Impact. I believe that number one, it's going to raise the level of education of our workforce, which is going to attract, enable us as economic developers to attract more business and higher paying jobs to the community. I also believe that it's going to impact the graduation rate, because we have kids now who just don't see the value of a high school education, especially if they're not intending to go to college. But under this new plan, we will have kids graduating from high school with certified to go into jobs making $40,000, $50,000 a year right out of high school. I am excited about that. And thirdly, why dismantle a system that has some of the best public education schools in the country? We have at least 2 nationally ranked schools in the country. Granted, they're in the magnet system, but they're in this public school system, which means to me, we know what it takes to deliver a top-notch education. We know it. We just need the resources, the human resources and the physical resources to do it. So I would hope that out of this cooperation with the state, that the county would come up with innovative ways to address the problems that public school systems, the challenges that public school systems are facing, and Montgomery will have one of the best systems in the country.
That sounds good. Now, tell us about some of your initiatives that you have to fight and combat crime in the city.
You know, one battle that I've been fighting for quite some time, ever since I was elected, quite frankly, and I've been trying to get the administrations to address this issue, and with really no success. And when I'm elected, it's high on my list. I have watched over the last 4 to 6 years the systematic closing of all of the community centers that were located in the various communities around town. When you take away, studies have shown when you remove organized physical and educational activities from a community, in other words, parks and recreation, when you remove that, something to keep our kids busy and occupied after school and during summer months, then the crime rate among those youth that are affected, it rises. And that's what's happened here in Montgomery. Granted, I don't believe that government can solve the problem of youth violence in Montgomery, but I do believe that government has a role. And up to this point, the role of government has been at least anemic in addressing this epidemic. I believe that if we would once again restore these type of community centers and instill in them with real programs that are educational programs, that physical activities. When I was growing up, we had that. I grew up in the Cleveland Avenue YMCA, and we had that. That's what saved my life. It kept me out of the streets, and it kept me out of trouble. I learned a lot of life lessons that I still carry with me today in that type of environment, and now more than ever, we need that. We have a police chief now that I'm excited about. I've met him and talked to him. His philosophy on community policing is similar to mine. I have a master's degree And I have an undergraduate degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in justice and public safety. And community corrections is really something that's I concentrated on doing my master's. So I know that it works. I know that it can go a long way with creating the type of trust and respect between the citizenry and the police that's going to help in preventing and solving a lot of crimes. And lastly, I don't think we put enough emphasis on the removal of illegal guns from the streets. I think many of the crimes that are being committed by guns that were obtained illegally. Every now and then you'll hear about a gun buyback, but I think that we need to do more to get to the individuals responsible for putting these illegal guns on the street and making them available. So we should go after the suppliers of the guns, and not wait until they're in the hands of young people and people who are about to commit crimes with them. So I would put emphasis on that.
Sounds good, Mr. Harris. Now, tell us about some of your plans to improve the mass transit system here in the city.
Yes, I can recall 6-7 months ago when it might have been last October. There was a lot of articles in the paper about the Montgomery area transit system being over budget. I think they were over budget, something like $600,000, and the mayor made a big noise about it and even threatened to cut them even further. I just find that unconscionable. In a city of more than 200,000 people, mass transit is essential. It's not a luxury or something that you can do without. We have people, these same people who are on these jobs making $9 and $10 an hour, they rely on mass transit to get to and from work. Some of them to do their grocery shopping, to make medical appointments. It's important. Unlike some politicians, I don't believe that everything, every service that's provided by government should turn a profit. This is not a business. This is a government. It's for the people, by the people, paid for by taxpayer dollars. I think mass transit is essential in this city, and I believe that if we expand the routes, number one, and we improve the facilities, that ridership would increase, and we could have a top-notch system. But at any rate, you'll never hear me say as mayor that this is something I think we can do without, or something I think we should cut. I think it should be improved, and all efforts should be made to improve the ridership.
That's good. That's good, Mr. Harris. Now, you have a mission, growth and prosperity through progressive leadership. Can you explain that to us?
Well, for so long, and the buzzword in this whole state of Alabama is, how do they say it, some kind of conservative. I don't know. I can't place it right now, but my motto is growth through progressive leadership, prosperity through progressive leadership. Progressive leadership to me means it's not conservative and it's not liberal. It means that you're going to do those things necessary to move this city forward. You're going to be innovative. You're going to try things that have not been tried before to move things forward, and you're going to one way of doing that is to really identify your problems and face them and involve the people in what you're doing. Conservative mean is a situation, to me, it means being resistant to change. And liberal can be an extreme on the other end. Whereas with progressive leadership, you're open to change, and you're also open to innovation. So I believe through what I intend to do is, number one, to listen. When it comes time to set priorities on how we're going to spend your money, how we're going to spend public money, I'm going to look for input. from the citizenry. That's where the ideas are. These are the people that are going to drive the thing. So I'm going to look for ideas on that and input when I'm making decisions on important projects and directions for the city.
Great. Thank you for explaining that to us. And lastly but not least, could you tell us why should the people of Montgomery vote for you in August?
Well, my whole reason for entering politics in the beginning was my desire to serve. I have always had this instilled in me. I was fortunate to work for a company for more than 20 years that allowed me to do the type of work in the community that was making a change and improving the quality of life. And it's no different. When I returned home, and the reason I accepted the challenge to run for county commission was that I was serving on various boards and doing community work, but I realized that as an elected official, I could do more. And if the citizens of Montgomery are ready for an administration that listens, that's responsive, and that is going to be a mayor for the entire city and make sure that all aspects of this city are receiving the services that they need, then I am that person. I have a record on the county, one of listening, one of being responsive, and that's the same record that I'll carry forward as mayor of Montgomery.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Harris.
Thank you
for your time. And there you have it, Gumptown. Once again, we were with Mr. Dan Harris. He's a candidate for the mayor of Montgomery. You're watching Gumptown TV. Stay connected.